Before I get started, apparently President Trump has an announcement to make. So I'd like you to salute or put your hand over your heart. He's got something to say here.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much.
You know who you are that sent me that. Thank you. And those other goodies. I had to give you an intro for this video the appropriate way. I mean, I couldn't just read this real quick and be done with it. This is from dailywire.com. Good Trump. United States ends reliance on foreign oil for the first time in 75 years. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know the Lindsey Williams story. We've had this oil. But, anyways, for the first time in 75 years, the United States exported more oil than it imported, carrying out a pledge from President Trump that America can achieve energy independence. While the U.S. has been a net oil importer since 1949, over the final week of November, U.S. net imports of crude oil and petroleum products fell to minus 211,000 barrels per day, which means America exported more than it imported, according to data from the U.S. Energy Information and Administration. Oil production has been booming in the U.S. as the shale revolution swept the nation. America is now the world's largest producer of petroleum, passing Russia and Saudi Arabia. What is this? As the U.S. oil boom spread, the power of OPEC was reduced, and gas prices in the U.S. have dropped from the $4 plus highs, in some areas, under former President Barack Obama. Which I don't know if you've seen this, but we got $2 gas. I've seen people Joe, under $2 gas. Look, regular gas, boom. Oh, pardon me. You didn't have to be so hurtful. You didn't have to be so hurtful. Oh, but that puts a whole new paint job on things. Thank you. Net imports peaked in 2005, topping 14 million barrels per day, but in the last few months, the U.S. has imported an average of 2 million barrels per day. U.S. production has more than doubled since 2012 because of the new technologies for extracting oil. U.S. crude exports are poised to rise even further with new pipelines from the Permian in the works and at least 9 terminals planned that will be capable of loading super terminals, Bloomberg reports. The only facility currently able to load the largest ships, the Louisiana offshore oil port, is on pace to load more oil in December than it has in any other month. The shift to net exports is the dramatic result of an unprecedented boom in American oil production, with thousands of wells pumping from the Permian region of Texas and New Mexico to the Bakken in North Dakota to the Marcellus in Pennsylvania. The massive Permian may be even bigger than previously thought. Well, if you remember Lindsey Williams about the Gull Island, Alaskan field or offshore field, whatever they found, I guess you can't really have an offshore field, but it was off of Gull Island anyways. He said there was 200 years worth of oil for America there. And then he said after I'd left, I just learned there was another 200 years they found over there too. That's 400. So chances are what they just said is probably true. There's probably bigger than we thought. It is bigger than we thought. The Delaware Basin, the less drilled part of the field, holds more than twice the amount of crude as its sister, the Midland Basin, the U.S. Geological Service said on Thursday. Meanwhile, the International Energy Agency said in its latest World Energy Outlook that the United States will be the biggest contributor to the oil market, accounting for almost 75% of global oil production growth in the period to 2040, Epoch Times reported. The news about the United States becoming a net oil exporter was largely ignored last week, as markets were obsessed with the OPEC meeting in Vienna. While there is so much focus on the drama in the OPEC cartel, the real historic news that went unnoticed was that the United States last week exported more crude oil and fuel than it imported for the first time on record. Phil Flynn, analyst at Future Prices Group in Chicago, wrote in an email. OPEC, the massive oil cartel in the Middle East, voted Friday to cut oil output by 1.2 million barrels per day for the first 6 months of 2019. The move is an effort to push up prices. Trump, though, called on OPEC and Saudi Arabia to not restrict oil production. Hopefully OPEC will be keeping oil flows as is, not restricted. The world does not want to see or need higher oil prices, he wrote on Twitter last Wednesday. And this was actually posted December 10th, so today's the 11th. I saw this and, you know what, do a little quick video. Winning. We're going, listen. Maybe you didn't hear this, man.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning.
No, Mr. President. It's not enough winning. I'll never get, that's like having a car too fast, having too much money in the bank, having too many cryptos. No, I like those things. You know, I'm pretty sure everybody would want some of that, right? No, okay. So therefore, we would like to continue winning. It's fun winning. It's fun being on the winning side, right? And by the way, if you got yourself a Twitter account, I would love for you to, I'll put their names, their Twitter handles in the description box below. I'd love for you to retweet this video to Donald Trump himself, the real Donald Trump. Again, I'll put their exact handles on Twitter in the description box. And his son, Don Jr. Let's see if we can get this in front of them enough that they'll play this, and so that they understand. There's a bunch of patriot outs there that see what he's doing, and he will get the respect he deserves. Because like he said, he's going to give power back to the people. And he's doing it.